It's so nice to have the two of you together for this oral history of your life. And there were some things that you wanted to remember to talk about.
Well, I forgot to really mention my great grandchildren,
Yes,
and I don't want to leave them out because they are they are my life. You know,
yes.
I love my grand, but and he has two, they are my step great grands, and so what I wanted to do is just like uh, dedicate what we're doing to them and make sure that they get a chance to see this
Yes.
and learn a lot from them because they are distant, you know. So we have to make sure that. But I have my daughter, my granddaughter, my beautiful Dominique, and like I said, hopefully Dominique will better her condition. But if she doesn't, she's still my, and I love her.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, that kind of thing, and she knows it.
yes.
Uh, we have these little conversations, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has three children. That's Angelia, who's the oldest,
Mm-hmm.
very smart, but she's very shy, like I used to be. I used to be so shy when company came, I hid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we have Natalia, who's definitely not shy,
Uh-huh.
very outspoken, says what she thinks, and she's very, very smart.
Uh-huh.
She's what you call what a gift. She's in the gifted class.
Yes.
She's good in art, and I used to do art too, so
Uh-huh.
she's
Uh-huh.
good in that. And then I have Zayden with the Z. That's the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
He plays football and he plays is it basketball? He was playing a game. Look, he went to the park the other day,
Uh-huh.
and there was a group there playing ball, and he wanted to play, and so they didn't want him to play because he wasn't on their team.
Uh-huh.
So he kind of insists. He kind of does what he wants to do. He feels like, you know.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, he's quite a fella. And I have Willow, who is his oldest step, my step, his oldest.
Uh-huh.
And then I have Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Haven is the youngest.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know them. I've talked with them on the screen
Yeah.
and on the telephone,
Right.
and we always send them things and you know that kind of stuff. But I want them to know are still a part of my family. I haven't forgotten them,
Yes.
and so I want them to be able to see all of this too because these are memories for them.
Yes.
And then there's Chloe. Chloe is my nephew's daughter, and her mother kind of gave her away. So my sister has become her mother and her husband a father.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Chloe, they are in their 60s now, I think, and they love Chloe, but and she's a good kid. I'm not saying that, but being at that point, they want to do their own thing sometime. And
Yeah.
so I kept Chloe for summer, and we had a ball, you know, that kind of thing. So I just want them to know that they're involved in this, and I want them to know that you can go through hard times or you can go through good times, no matter what.
Yes.
But if you believe in God, God will lift you up and help you to do all those things you want to do. All you have to do is pray.
That's it.
And see, so many kids don't believe in that. But I know that's a fact because many days I struggle. I mean, when I say struggle, I
Mm-hmm.
struggle. I don't even know why I'm still here, or
Yeah.
how I'm still here, you know. But I am, and I'm thankful. So I just wanted that. I don't want to leave them out, definitely. So that was that.
Outstanding. Well,
Hmm.
since I have you two together, I would really love to go back to your wedding day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's talk about the proposal and the wedding day and maybe the honeymoon if you want to. But
Well, um, we were married on was June 8th in 1958. But before we got married, it was like a thing that we were engaged one day, and the next day we were not because I would say, I don't want to get married. And so finally he told me, look, either you're going to marry me or you're not going to marry me. I'll be gone. Because it wasn't like I don't know. I wasn't really in love, at that time, and I was trying to get away from home. That's the whole thing. So we got together and we stayed together for a while, and then about a month later, I left and went to Connecticut. And the only reason I came back from Connecticut because I was expecting. I think that's where God planned it. That's the only reason I came back.
So, Miss Archibald, how'd that make you feel when she just up and left on you?
No, we finished school. We were talked about going to summer jobs.
Uh-huh.
I went to Atlantic City because I'd been there before to work, and she went to Connecticut.
That's where my maid of honor lived. That's the one who died in the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
She died, in November of last year
Oh, wow.
from the virus.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
But in the wedding, it was a small wedding. It was just my immediate family and a couple of your immediate family. And my maid of honor, my uncle was our best man. And like my mother had a reception. It was all at her house.
Yeah.
And the pastor was from First Baptist Church in Ansley. Yeah. So that was it. I mean, it was a fun thing. You know how people do in the South. They have small weddings, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's what we had. We had small ceremony. He had his black and white outfit, and I had my white outfit, and we just got married.
Yeah.
That's it.
So did you go on a honeymoon? Were you able
No, not really. Like I said, we stayed together about a month, and then he went his way and I went my way. That kind of thing, you know.
Well, you were expecting, so something must have happened somewhere along the
Yeah,
line.
something happened. And my mother was the type of person, she had raised, okay, I told you about the problems she had with moving into her house.
Right.
And so she bought this house. And then when I graduated, she wasn't too much for me getting married. She wanted me to stay at home now and help her take care of her children,
Oh.
that kind of thing. So at that point, she just said, well, look, are you going to get married? And I said, yes, I am. And my grandfather would always say, I'm not going to help you go to school, because if I do, you're going to marry some no good man as soon as you get out. This is a no good man I married.
Turns out he was pretty good, huh?
Pretty good. Yep,
Oh, that's beautiful.
that's right.
So now, we were going to also try to remember to talk about some of your ancestors, people, great-grandparents, if you have any memories of them or stories that your mother told you.
Yeah, well, that's so many of them. Let's see, where do we start? I do know that my grandfather had, I started my father's because it's smaller. My father had one sister and one brother. His sister was very fair, very, very fair. And she had red hair. And I was born with red hair. I still have red hair. You know, I dyed darker because I don't want red hair, but it's still there. But anyway, what happened is she just, she left where they lived. I think he was born in Greensboro. They all were. And so she didn't get along with her father either. So she, and I'm going to say this now, I was told this all the time I grew up, but I don't know if it's true. They were a well-to-do family. And they had this huge home in Greensboro. As a matter of fact, there's a pie factory in Greensboro right now that part of that family owns, some of the members of the family, Greensboro, Alabama. But he was supposed to have he was abusive like my father.
Right.
And he was supposed to have pushed his wife down the stairs and killed her. His youngest son was a musician in New York, very nice, very handsome. I have a picture someplace. But he was going with this wealthy white woman, and he cheated on her. And she hit him in the head with a chair So when he came, they sent his body home. He didn't have a top of his head. They sent him back to be buried, to his family to be buried. But he was very, very good in music.
She busted his head and it came off with a chair?
She hit his head. Well, yeah, she hit him with a chair, and they said it was a hole in his head. I don't know if it was off or it was just a
on the
hole.
type of chair it was.
That's what I said. I
Chair.
don't know. So that's what I said. Some weird stuff went on in my family. So anyway, my my grandmother, father's mother passed. She was gone. So he married another lady, who was very good to my mom. But before they got married, my father was his father was strict to him too. He was very strict, and he couldn't. Up until he was like in his upper teens, he wore short pants. And the night his father passed, supposedly, he was at the movie. He had slipped and took my mother to the movies because he wasn't supposed to. He wasn't allowed to. His father was very strict on him. So now here's a daughter who is not living with them. She gets along with the stepmother, but she doesn't get along with the father. So she was being raised by the stepmother and another member across the street. Not family member, but a neighbor. And until she got married. And then my father married my mother. My mother was in the 12th grade, but she didn't graduate. She became pregnant in 12th grade. And my mother. But anyway, as far as I know, after they got married, I don't know too much about what happened with them then and that, but I know I was born in November 1934, and I have a picture of me sitting on the porch, a little red-haired girl, well, light hair, because it was a black and white picture, you know, that kind of thing. And so my mother had 9 children, but only 7 of them survived. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And all of our children lived. Now, she died at 98, but all of her children lived until last year, and my second brother passed from lung cancer.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, when I was talking to Mr. Archibald, and I asked him what the secret to a successful marriage is, and he gave some really good answers. So I want to ask you, what is the secret to a successful marriage? Oh, these are notes. I'm taking notes. Let me tell you.
Oh, no. I know one thing. It is give the other person their own space. That's very important. It's very important. Like I said, when we traveled, we travel a lot. And like Billy, I would go on a trip. He would travel with his friend sometime. And I never will forget one time when all of this changed was I was going to Mexico. He didn't want to go. So I said, well, I bought the tickets, I'm going anyway. So I got one of my teacher friends to go with me. Her name was Agnes. And we went on the trip. Just as we got there, we were there and had gotten into bed, and it was in the middle of the night. He called, he was on his way. And he didn't get there. But what had happened, the plane had almost fallen out the sky because of a storm. And
We were diverted to another city.
it was
Wait that storm out.
we were going to Mexico City. And so naturally I was worried because I didn't know what was going on. I knew he was coming. I said he should have come with us. He was being hard-headed. He come with us. But anyway, he finally got there. And before day, guess what happened?
What?
There was an earthquake.
Oh,
One of the largest earthquakes they've had in Mexico. I think it was 7 point something.
oh, good God.
Had you gotten into bed? I'm not sure. He had gotten into bed. And so he and Agnes jumped up and they didn't know which way to turn. Now me with my little busy self, when they found me, I was across the street in the park sitting down looking at all what's going on. I don't know how I got there. But we were on the 13th floor now.
Oh,
was it 13?
I don't know, it was
12 or 13.
Uh,
And so nobody could find me because they didn't know where. Well, they was all upset and scared, I guess. I don't know, but I was
you
gone.
outside
I was
in the park.
gone. I've always been like that. A dorm caught on, somebody hit a pole at my dorm in the college, and all the lights went out in the dorm, and all the girls were scared to death. They were running, screaming and hollering. And I got on that phone and called 911 and directed them. I've always been alert. I had to because being the oldest of 5 kids,
You used
a
to
lot of stress, a lot of stuff was put on me, you know. So I can move. He'll tell you I can do that now. I'm like that now. I
Yeah.
can move when something's going on. I might be frustrated afterwards, but while it's going on, I'm busy.
That's so cool. And that's what I'd like to talk about now, you know, because we're kind of wrapping up a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your life like now together? I mean, how satisfying is it to be at this age, still together, still in love, and taking care of each other? How do you guys manage?
Did you want to say something? I'm taking all of this talking.
I get you.
Okay. Well, okay. How do we? We're like I said, we love each other. We care. We take care. I take care of him, very good care of him. I do everything for him, including taking his food to his desk while he's playing his games, looking at his TV. That's true. But he does the same thing for me.
But she has a servant mentality. If I do anything, she got to thank me and thank me and thank. And I just said to her, okay, thanks 1,000 times. All the time I don't say anything, because she does them almost every day, and I just do it occasionally.
Yeah, then I make sure that he, whatever has to be done, and no matter where I have to go, nothing stands in the way of him taking me. People say, well, I don't drive him, but I've never had that problem because I knew if I had to go somewhere, I had somebody to take me.
And Mr. Archibald, you still drive.
Hmm.
That's beautiful.
Yep. So that's the way our life is. I take care of him, like whatever he needs, whatever his clothes are always clean. The house is relatively clean most of the time. This bed, whatever he needs. Now, a problem, we do disagree now, don't get me wrong. We disagree because he's very stubborn. He likes to do things the way he wants it done.
Well,
Say something.
that's just a saying, you know. People who have different opinions, will say the other person is stubborn because they want to do things one way, but that person wants to do things the way they want them done.
Yeah.
For instance, you know, if she has a way of cleaning, and if I want to do something, she wants me to do it the way she does it. Well, I just do such simple. You just make a big job out of it. Well, I do it the way I want to do it. If I want to do it thoroughly, I do it. If I want to haste through it, I haste through it. But I do it the way I want to do it. She does the way she wants to. I don't complain about it. She does it. She can do them whatever she wants to. And when I do it, sometimes I'll adhere to it. But if I have an idea of doing something, I'll do it the way I think it should be done, or the way I know how to do it.
And you know the thing that bothers me the most is he always says to me, I said, what do you want to eat? Whatever you want to eat. I mean,
No,
he
whatever
says
you
it, whatever I fix. And he eats whatever I fix. But what do you want to go out to eat?
Well, she very
Wherever
sick.
you want to go.
She very seldom picks something I don't want, so I just eat it anyway.
And one thing I can say about him, no matter what I fix, he eats. No matter what.
That's beautiful.
So, you know, like, and if I don't want to get up out of bed, he'll say, what do you want for breakfast? You know,
And then
I
he'll-
better tell him stay in bed, but if I don't want to get up, I don't have to worry because he'll either go pick up something or he'll fix something, you know, that kind of thing. And like I said, he has his space. He has his office in there, and mainly I stay in here. So we are not in each other's way. And then other times we're sitting together,
That's so
that kind of
cool.
thing.
Yeah, every once in a while, I look at whether I want to see it or not. I just come in and look at what she does.
Yeah.
And she'll come in there and look at what I'm looking at.
So we get along.
And that's a beautiful love story. It's just,
Yeah, I think that's most important.
I think that one of the most things, you have to realize that you can't make people do anything. You have to let them live their life do their will. If you can't trust folks, you never have no business around.
And see, that's one thing that trust is the most important thing in a marriage. Billy could go anywhere he want to go and do, and I was the same. Was the same with me. I go out with my girlfriends. I go out. I go places. I travel. I do. He trusted me, and I trust him.
Yes.
You know. Hey, you can't take a grown person and tie them up in the wall until you decide what they want to do. You have to be able to depend on them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I trusted him. He trusted me, and that's most important.
Yeah.
When say trust and obey. Trust and obey. Mm-mm.
And if you can't do that, be a great pretender.
And he doesn't worry about what I buy. You know, once upon a time he was kind of like that because he was trying to keep all the money, trying to get rich.
Right.
But now I can buy or do whatever I want. You know, I don't care what I buy. If I buy it, so fine. Or he'll go get it for me.
Like you said, just let you be yourself.
That's right. And the same thing with him. But what I have to do for him, he doesn't buy anything for himself. He doesn't buy clothes for himself. I almost have to make him get a new shirt or get a new pair of shoes or a new something because he won't buy anything for himself.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went to Hawaii last year. Well, we went last year and the year before. I've been to Hawaii about 14 or 15 times.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite places. So we went, if you got time. But anyway, and we went to this luau. And they were asking people how long they've been married. And everybody was saying, 40 this, 30 this. So he said, well, I guess 40 is as high as we're going to go. And I raised my hand. And so he said, how long? And I said, 60. He said, what? He said, who's been married for 60 years? He said, come up here.
Yeah.
So we had to go up front, and he performed. Of course, he wasn't a judge or anything, but he pretended he performed our marriage over for us. And then they gave us a lei, and they let us dance, and they took pictures of hope. So it was a big to-do.
That's very cool.
But we've had a lot of things like that. People, when we go to shows and things, they seem to always love him, the women. So he's always up on the stage.
Well, look, you married a handsome man.
Don't
So
understand. I tell you the truth. But anyway, life has been good. We've come a long way, and we have a lot to be thankful for. We are. And like I said, neither one of us is sick very often. We get little ailments, you know, but we don't have the aches and pains and stuff that a lot of people have.
So what do you attribute that to? To diet, God,
I think it's
a little bit of
I
everything?
know God is always there,
Yeah.
but I know what we eat, and now he doesn't like to exercise, but I do. But I think it's because my pastor asked a friend one day, why do Archibald's always stay so thin? And so she told him it's because of what they eat. They don't eat all that fat stuff you eat. She was teasing him, but anyway, but that's the truth. That's the way we are. We just, you know, I don't eat nothing with sugar, anything with sugar in it. And I've gotten him like that too now.
But sugar, I talked to my doctor, he said, I don't have a sugar problem. It's a little salt that gives my blood pressure, but I don't do too much salt now, so I don't have no problem with that either.
And so I kind of do what I think is best for both of us, so we don't have diabetes or any stuff like that.
That's beautiful. Well, those are definitely words to live by. Things for all of us to aspire to and to remember. And when everybody looks at this, you know, the family looks at it, you know, they'll be able to hear what worked for you. Seems like things are working pretty well. You guys look good, sound good, still able to do things without a lot of pain. God bless you.
God, thank you very much. God has blessed us, and He's still blessing us.
Yes. All right.